really does. So if that's something you want to check out, do consider it. Obviously, any subscription helps. Any sort of support is great. Thank you so much to everyone who has already been subscribing, donating, and cheering today. Do you have a Christmas marble on your tree, on my tree as well, Lena? As soon as your resub comes in. Otherwise, only because if I let everyone who's already a sub have one right away, I would literally spend about 4 hours putting decorations on the tree at once. So as soon as your resub comes in, decoration is all yours. Bottom right hand side, our red Terran player, give it up from Sidestone Gaming's GuMiho. As the top left hand side, our blue Zerg from Infinity Gaming is Solar. Your resub came in a few days too early. Aye. You know what? If your resub is after the 25th of December, I will put one on the tree for you already. So let me know if it's going to be after the 25th, and I'll go put you one on the tree. Special deal. I'm really not sure if people are just memeing around with this, oh my god, why is Haas quitting? Or if people are genuinely just like, genuinely actually think he's like, that's what this tournament title means. Like, I just... my mind's just like blown. I just didn't think that this was going to be something that multiple people would either A, think, or B, find funny. It's crazy. The Nema coming in with the 23-month resub. Thank you so much. Got some love in the chat for the Nema on the 23 months as this Proxy Rax play starts to come into action. So Solo saw this pretty quickly. He did not pull drones towards the racks. Instead, he will pull drones to try and stop the bunkers coming up here. You do see the Marines applying a good amount of pressure to push those drones back. But now 12 Lings on the way, and you have to imagine that those are going to try and jump on top of this in just a few moments. The last thing you want is to let the bunker come up, and the Lings do come in with the drones for some good surrounds. Multiple Marines already getting picked off. Bunker will get cancelled here, and again, Lings continue to chase those Marines backwards, all the way back towards the racks even, and further reinforcements. But now the Ling count, well, they have to be careful still. They take a lot of damage trying to chase those Marines down, but in the end, it will be worth it. And Solar, again, just saw this coming maybe a bit too early. And now there's going to be nothing at home to defend. Well, I guess the factory's on the way up, builds a reactor on it, so starting to expand. GuMiho, did he achieve enough with this becomes the question. Now, he is on a better work count just by one, and obviously he has a mule as well. He starts the expansion later, though. As we do have the Overlord just overhead. So Overlord just chilling out overhead, and Solo can get that onto the map now. Again, it's an interesting little situation where just Solo and GuMiho are... GuMiho is not in a great spot, let's not lie, but he's not out of the game just yet. And as you do see the Lings coming up, and they're going to start nibbling their way through these depots. A little bit of damage being done there. Third hatchery dropping down from Solar on the top side of the map too. So those racks just going to continue back towards the main base. Starport's up as well, so Viking coming out. I mean, you saw again to Hellion Viking, you can start actually pushing those Lings back, you can push Overlords away. Because Solar pulled drones down, he doesn't have his gas, he didn't have his gas early at all, so Ling speed isn't a thing. Which kind of means that A, Solar can't defend as easily, but B, he's also just going to be making a bunch of drones. So you can kind of get ahead and eco, but there's also that opportunity for GuMiho to really do something about it. So it's kind of a nice mixture of a position here, where I think Solar's in an alright position, but there's definitely potential for GuMiho as he goes in towards looks like a Widowmine drop. That medevac on the way up. Barracks make it home. He gets Tech Lab and a reactor on them, so he can go straight in towards Stimpack as well. And yeah, everything going to be truly underway for him in the next few moments. He lands the CC, 10 workers down. A couple of mules will help with that, but it's definitely Solar mining just a little bit more. Let's see if Solar will be able to keep his workers alive, though. So really, yes, with the 4-month resub. Thank you so much for the 4 months. Can we get some love in the chat for Cerilias, please, people? 4 months coming through. What color is your name? Yellow. You can have a gold decoration then. How about that? Thank you so much, Cerilias, for the 4 months. Viking here is going to pick its way through this Overlord. So Overlord already taking a few shots of damage. And another Overlord kill is always nice. No transfuse available to keep it alive there, even though it was going to be pretty close. Overlord drops down. Solo already had an extra Overlord up though, so he doesn't become entirely supply blocked. Let's moving around to the left-hand side. 4 Widow Mines are going to be looking for their first opportunity to really get something done here. They've not been finding themselves with the opportunity to move in just yet. As that lair is going to be finishing up just the next few moments. Again, Hellions coming up the right side. Going to be arriving and working their way through a few of these drones. So already a couple going down there right away. And even more of these Zerglings actually continue to take quite a lot of damage. That's actually a nice little position for the Hellions. 3 drones, a good amount of Lings as well. And looks like quite okay. At the same time, Widowmines in the main base actually wandering around trying to figure out where to burrow for the best effect. And in the end, they'll go off on another Queen, so not really all that great. Widowmines didn't do much at all here. It's a pretty good shutdown in all honesty. Queen's obviously in position, picked off that medevac pretty fast while we're watching those Hellions go down. As you do see, Solar. Good defense here against GuMiho's attempts to deal some damage. 6 Marines pull back in towards the natural, +1 attack and +1 armor coming through on the engineering base. Stim's about to finish, so again, all of these bio upgrades starting to come through and into play now, with a 3rd orbital command also finishing up in the main base. And there's another mule just dropping down pretty much instantly there. And that orbital will just lift up and drop down here in the next couple of moments. Your observer skills need improvement. You're right. You know what, dude? If you want to admin a tournament, accept invites into a second game, answer players when they're meant to be and where they're meant to be at the same time, while also solo casting and reading Twitch chat and interacting with them all, and observe everything perfectly, you can actually apply today. And I will pay you a solid, you can actually take all of the money extra that you earn because of how much better the observing is. So, you're more than welcome to join us as our official observer. We work about 10-hour days, so, just let me know when you're quitting your full-time job to do it. Let me know, Brody. Thank you. Marines gonna go and get some harassment done. I'm just gonna be seeing a few more Zerglings just running in towards this main. We're gonna see only a couple of Banes here, but there's no target fire from GuMiho. He's just out of there. He even picks up the Marine that dropped down on the this little section here. So, just gonna pick that up. Marine isn't gonna be left behind. Spire coming up behind this 3rd base mineral line. And at this stage, with the Spire about to finish, the Ling Bay Mida style coming through, GuMiho is already kind of moving towards a decent setup, I feel. He's got a 2nd factory coming up. You would love to see one of these factories go to a reactor. Start up the Widow Mines, right? Because against Midas especially, Widow Mines are going to be so much more effective than siege tanks. As Marines coming in. And a couple of Crypt Jammers getting picked off. Some Lings getting taken down as well. Another couple of scans and Creep continues to be picked off. It's actually really good for GuMiho. Keeps access towards this left-hand side base open for him, so it makes it easier for him to push up this direction a little bit later on. Four more Mulists on the way out, and I'm just going to be seeing Marines still pushing over to the right side here. First meters are down to the bottom left, though, and they're going to come flying in. GuMiho does not really seem to know about this, especially because not only is there not really turrets up, but there's also still siege tank production. I feel as soon as you see these meters switching towards Widow Mines, or at least 4 production, might be kind of the way to go initially as well. What's this? Another tech lab on the factory on the low ground, so maybe just 4's added in, and maybe just kind of skip the Widow Mines, bypass them for the moment. Meters get 7 SCVs to start things off. Still drops on the map that are hunting down Overlords as well. This in the main base, getting some damage done. A few more SCVs continuing to go down. It's now 11 workers killed. Slow down on the 4th base as well. Somehow this Mutilist doesn't quite drop, as the medevacs do load up over here just in time to get out over to the right side. Two Banes get taken down as well. Marines continue to come forwards, and Overlord's still taking quite a lot of damage. This is actually GuMiho getting a lot done over here. And this is where the Mutas might have to think about just being defensive for a little bit and cleaning up these drops. Because with Mutas on the map, usually drops obviously shouldn't have so much of a presence, but it's because the Mutas dove straight across the map right away, allowed GuMiho to be on this map a little bit longer than before. Marines up the right side, trying to see what's going on as you see Marines dropping in the bottom left-hand side. Lings are trying to fight this. This is actually a really good position for GuMiho. He's doing a very good job against this. The Mutalists fly in and will eventually clean this out, but I feel like those Marines find some decent value, and it brings the Mutas to the bottom left side. Oh! That one last Baneling, if that hadn't connected, these Marines would have cleaned up those Zerglings as well, and that could have kept doing damage. And that was the really nice thing. It brought these Mutas out of position and maybe keep that drop going as well. Just a shame that didn't obviously work out overall, as we do see 4s now introduced into the army to push that back, and still just tech labs on the factories, so still no sign of those wooden mines, which I was so hoping to see, but all good, as we do just have the play continuing. Couple 4s drop down again, just sticking around this 4th base. Obviously GuMiho really wants to solidify this position right now. At this stage of the game, one of the most important things for him as he goes up to free upgrades and up against Hive Tech is solidifying an economy that can trade with the Zerg into the later stages of this game. Two medevacs loading up to go to the right side. That's why those Mutas are flying around in just a couple of moments. I'm just going to be seeing the Mutas picking off a couple of these. Why did Solo upgrade air attack 1 if he's not going Brutes? Because Mutas with air attack actually are pretty... If you're going to make this many Mutas, air attack upgrades make them pretty good. It helps them trade out with Marines, it helps them pick off medevacs faster, you know, dive in on siege tanks are a bit more effective. In general, Mutalist builds, +1 fly attack is very standard, very common. Because you're not really hoping to take damage with those Mutas and kind of survive damage for +1 carapace. You're hoping to kind of dive in, deal some damage quickly, and get out. So the +1 fly attack goes a long way to helping out with that. It's down in towards the 3rd base here, where we do see a couple bits and pieces getting picked off. Did they buff Mutas? They nerfed the 4. So the 4 is less effective against them, which means that Muta players seen a little bit more play, a little bit more time. I don't think Mutas were ever bad, it was just there was better options. Now, the Mutas are a good kind of option to kind of mix things up. This run by into this base, 10 workers going down. It's a pretty nice little something there. 13 workers killed here, as we do see the Mutas continuing to set up. Right in the center. Lings and Banes continue to get themselves ready to go. Marines coming through right now. And again, Solo's just kind of throwing units at GuMiho at the moment. Just throwing them again and again and again. Mutas keep on flying in. The 4s should be okay against this amount of Mutas though. And in general, yes, some SCV's lost, but Solo threw away a lot of units to make this happen. Thank you so much, Narrow Road, for coming in with the subscription. Welcome to the Wardy family. Good to have you with us. Really appreciate the support, dude. As we see the Mutalisks coming in once again, going towards the Phalange Fortress mineral line. Corruptors on the way out from Solo. I mean, the one thing Solo is doing with all of these attacks, and he's on 87 drones, so he can kind of afford to throw units at his opponents. But he's teching up massively behind it, right? To the point where he's about to arrive with Broodlords, and GuMiho is not really going to have much of an answer to those Broodlords. He doesn't have really any setup to deal with it. He's only got 1 starport, so there's no extra starports. He's got a few 4s, which are just not really going to cut it against enough Broods. So GuMiho is going to be in some trouble when those Broodlords show up, and that is getting closer and closer and closer at the moment. Lings and Banes gather up on the bottom side here. Is going to be seeing Siege Tank unsieging. A couple of command centers dropping down here towards the front, and we are going to be seeing the Siege Tank setting up quite nicely. As you see, Marines are stepping forwards, and one queen goes down, another queen goes down as well. Some creep tumors getting picked off too. That's actually quite a nice little play there for GuMiho. Get some good damage done. One Ling survives into the natural mineral line. That doesn't last long either. Those tanks helping out a lot with this. But again, the tanks are being useful there. They are not going to be so useful against these Broodlords. The 4s will go into anti-Broodlord mode, but I mean, the first Broodlords actually target that 4, and the first 4 goes very low already. Broods will back away for a moment. There's more of them being made. Tanks unsieging because you do not want that friendly fire to come in, but it means that the Broodlings then still have to be dealt with somehow. Okay, 4s actually drop forwards, and The Broodlords try and target on them. Oh, that's really smart. He's attack moving his Broodlings to keep more Broodlings down over there. Great micro on the Broodlords by Solar. That's something you don't always see. But what he does is, again, just to say that a bit more slowly, the Broodlings are already down, but there's no units there to continue attacking, so the Broodlings can't fire. By attack moving his own Broodlings, more Broodlings fire out. And it means that when the 4s drop back down, there are fresh Broodlings there ready to greet those 4s once again. 4s are deadly to those Broodlords if they can get there and fire off without taking the damage. But it's the Broodlords that can just do so much, so it really creates this very fun micro kind of interaction between the 4s and the Broods, which is what we're seeing here. Tanks will siege up, but the Broodlords do not deem it safe enough to stick around, and they are being very cautious with what they do. Mutas are diving forwards now a little bit as well. Tanks are back unsieged, as the Broods are just sitting in the front of this. The Banes are ready to roll up this ram to crash into those Marines. GuMiho has to pull back at the moment. And we do see to the right-hand side a base being taken down as well. GuMiho still absolute onslaught onto this at the moment. He has to try and hold this off, but it is not turning out to be easy as Solar keeps up the pressure. This time some Banelings really do connect, and Solar's supply does not seem to be going anywhere. And now switching into Ultras, they're going to be faster reinforced, and that's a GG. Solar taking game number 1. Alright, thank you so much, Adzi, for the 200 bits. I appreciate it as we kick this off. To the bottom left-hand side, our red Terran player down a map is GuMiho from Psystorm Gaming. And to the top right-hand side, our blue Zerg player is Solar from Infinity Gaming. Is that Loco's tree? Funny story, if you actually ask Loco where he got the idea for the Christmas tree from, you'll actually find the answer is me. Wardy, helping out Loco. One Christmas tree at a time. It's okay though, he has a low Santa emote. It's probably my favorite thing. No wonder this guy gains so many negative threads on Reddit, he has no idea when to stop. Well, if you don't like me, literally go away, because we are literally watching this tournament because I am here putting it on. So believe it or not, you don't need to be here. Bye-bye. Bouncing Cow with the $5. You're doing a great job. Don't let them trigger you. There's so many of us coming back to see you, our orange overlord. Dude, it's okay. I'm really not triggered. I just feel as though people need a fucking reality check as to what's okay in 2018. Like, how would they like it if I showed up to their workplace every day and just told them, hey, do you realize you're not doing that perfectly? Hey, dude, do you know you're actually shit? Oh, okay. You didn't. Okay. Just a quick reminder. Just want to 100% make sure it's okay to... You're really bad. Lost 100 viewers when I started whining. I also lost 100 viewers because we were going in between games. Ay. You know what, guys? I'm sorry. You guys... Twitch is just being a bit dumb today. We're going to subscriber mode for a while. I can't handle this for a little bit. Lings, though, 6 of them, and they actually have a very good chance of getting a cancel on this command center. The Reaper was across the map, and there is the cancel. So, boom. Nice cancel forced here by Soul, and that's exactly what he would have wanted with this. So he'll be very happy with this so far. And as we're going to be seeing the Reaper continue to chase this Zergling down, Zergling gets picked off. So Ling's going in a couple of different directions here, looking to see where they can go. Ling speed coming up on that spawning pool in the upper right-hand side, and Stimpack starting from GuMiho. It's a 2-1-1 opening from him, so looking to get some real pressure. Really changing it up from what he did in that last game, of course. I mean, obviously, you start off with a opening that's focused around kind of a 2-racks. It is always going to be a bit different, but this one is going to be aggression, but in a very different way. In about a minute and a half, we'll see those 2 medevacs hitting with around 16 Marines looking to be aggressive. What's up, Nit Diaz? Nit Diaz? NitDZ? Nitz? Thank you so much for the 100 bits. And the kind words, appreciate it. Solar throws down a Rotro. Now we have seen Solar against Fantasy already. It could be a very aggressive play. He showed us some very aggressive games. He came out swinging, really, and he put on a heck of a fight. So he just kind of pushed with Roaches, with Lings. He went super aggro, and he went and really just went fighting. Starport going to be finishing up here from GuMiho. So I'm just wondering if that's going to be the case again. He doesn't really have much gas, though, so he can't get tons of Roaches right away. This might just be for him a way to set up and defend. And with the drone count looking to be about 38, for now that might seem to be the case. Armory drops down as well from GuMiho. See what the lair does for Solar. I guess the lair is really going to be the potential turning point. Armory so fast means that this is not a regular 2-on-1 though, because the reactor on the factory rather than the medevacs means that he's not going to get multiple medevacs here. He's going to get, well, he'll get multiple, but not all at once. So this is not going to be so much about this first push. It's about getting a lot more Hellions up, and as you get more Hellions up, this essentially turns into a little bit of a 2-base all-in, where you can go for this big Hellbat attack. So going up in towards this now, it's definitely a little bit more aggressive, and you really need to be very prepared for this, because if you just go for the generic 2-on-1 like defense, you don't really have the units. Now, Roaches against this were definitely somewhat of a good answer, because obviously Roaches against Hellbats turn out kind of okay, right? So, Roaches will definitely help here. They're a little bit sturdier than if this was just Lings. This might just be a bit of an instant win or something along those lines. You're going to see Queens keep on going down. I mean, the medevac got targeted though, and there's not too much left here. Transfuse on one of those Roaches, but GuMiho is struggling just a little bit to really have enough left over. So Solar will push this back, and GuMiho, well, he'll now start to mule up and SCV up his natural expansion here. So getting this going, SCV is coming over. Factory going to drop down a Tech Lab, and we are going to be seeing a couple of extra banks being dropped down as well. Thank you so much, Scouty, for a very generous $25 donation. Thank you so much, dude. I'll get back to that in a moment or two, because I feel like this is going to get maybe a little bit interesting here for a moment. We do see those Marines having to pull back a little bit more. A couple of Lings going down. Roach is still kind of coming out into the front, and they are continuing to push these Marines back. GuMiho just has to type out G.